It's me, Persita, and this is Persita's Paradox. So today, let's talk. Our thought for Thursday question was, why do we fear change? And when you think of change instantaneously, you instantaneously think of fear. It's almost one of those things where you want to try to act like it really isn't an issue in your life, and then you start to think of all the things that you don't want to do, but you still want to be blessed, or you still want the progression, or you still want the relationship, or you still want the job, but you do not want the requirement that comes with it. And we fear it because truthfully, there's a plethora of things, but let's just talk about a few. One of the reasons why we fear change is we simply don't want the accountability. There's a thing that comes with change that does not instantaneously make you believe that you're capable. In your heart, deep down inside, you want to believe you're capable, but what if you fail? And what if you fail in front of people and you are in a position where you've spoken more than you can, or people have believed in you more than you believe in yourself, so you actually fail? Change and failure come hand in hand in our minds, and instantaneously, we do not want to try to tackle anything that we feel like we cannot win. And even sometimes when we feel like we can win, it's just the accountability that comes with change, meaning you have to sustain it. So let's just say you're a superstar athlete. It's not becoming the superstar athlete that's complicated. Most can achieve that. Where they fail, or where the average athlete that's made some sense of name or status for themselves, is how exactly do you sustain it? Think of a Kobe, think of a Serena, think of a LeBron. We're constantly calling them the GOAT. The problem with putting that type of a title onto someone of that caliber is, one, it's very complicated for them to fail. And then when they do fail, we're all completely offended, like, oh, it's okay. What's the problem? You've won so many things. You've done so many things. So what's the point of getting upset when you're so great? To them, that fear of changing into anything other than being great is complicated. And it's very disheartening, and no one wants to do it. Now, here's the irony. If you never, ever achieve anything, if you don't change, if you don't move yourself in a position of being something other than what you're comfortable with, that's the beauty of why you don't want to change. You already know it. You know the outcome, you know the ups, you know the downs. The unknown is not a part of your life. And that is where change literally kicks people in the butt, and it makes you want to not initiate it at all. You want to try to initiate yourself in the thought of change and why you fear it in a perspective of thinking where you've been and where you're trying to go. Now, that might seem a little strange, so let me say it again. When I'm thinking of trying to change in any level or any, situation, I always try to think about what am I fearing and what have I already achieved. Now, you might say, well, what does that do to help? Well, if you can actually stay in a place of what we're now calling gratitude, right, or gratefulness, you'll start to remember that you were fearful of things in your past. You went through them. You either succeeded or failed, but you went through it. And now you're on the other side of it and you're able to discuss it. You've heard the saying, fear is nothing more than fear itself, meaning you're only fearing fear. But if you don't really understand that it's the unknown that you're actually fearing, more so than just the word fear. Fear can run a plethora of things, but the unknown is the breakdown to me of what fear really means. So when I think of, I remember I wanted to do blah, 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 blah in my life. And to do that, I needed to change and do this. And I didn't think I could do it. And I did it. And either I was successful or I wasn't successful. But that's not really the point. The point is that you did it. And once you do something, you can get through it and you're not as worried. Prime example, a child of mine had to take their driver's test and they were completely stressed out about it. And I had to finally say to this child, either you're going to pass or fail, but you're going to do one or the other. Meaning there's nothing you can do about it either way. So to fear what you do in it makes no sense. You're going to pass the test. If you don't pass the test today, you're still going to pass the test because you'll stay at it. So there's nothing to fear if you fail, because you can always go back and try it again. And some people say, well, that's not guaranteed. I mean, what if it's a relationship or a situation? Well, you're absolutely right. Nothing's guaranteed. But what I'm trying to say is that fearing what's going to happen makes no sense, because while you're staying stagnant, fearing change, you're still not moving towards what it is that you want to get. So it's debilitating you across the board where you won't even know if you can. So since it's a 50-50 chance either way, why not just simply do it? It's like a multiple choice question test. Most people love multiple choice questions tests because it's a 50-50 chance you're going to get it. So why not just take the initiative, initiate the change, push through the fear, and understand that you're fearing nothing but failure. Failure. Fear and failure go hand in hand. That's all it is. So when you say, well, what do you mean that's all it is and nobody wants to fail? Okay, but guess what? If you're not failing, you're not trying. And if you're not trying, you're never going to succeed. And if succeeding is your purpose, it's your goal, it's your dream, then guess what you have to do? You have to do all of those things. If I want a degree, I have to go to college. Depending on what type of degree I want, determines how long I'm going to be in school. But I can't stand outside of schooling and say, hey, education, I want a degree, but I want you to just hand it to me because I fear if I actually enroll in school, I might not actually pass the courses. Okay, but then you don't want the degree. Then it becomes, are you really fearing change, or are you fearing the fact that you actually might succeed? Now, no one thinks about that because it's so much easier just to talk about all the other stuff. But truthfully, there's a fear of succeeding. Already the sustainment is complicated. But what if you actually do it? What if you actually achieve a goal that you have been looking for? Are you in a space where you can even comprehend that? And some people say, well, why would that make a person sad, or why would they fear that? Because it's easier to martyr yourself and to make excuses on why you're not where you want to be. But once you actually get to where you want to be, you have to determine if that's even where you want to be. You kind of know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes we work our butts off to try to get houses and cars and shoes and purses and trips, only to sit back and understand that that really wasn't the goal. You're looking for something deeper. Maybe it's peace. Maybe it's relationals, meaning something spiritual or something from within. But my point is that once you've achieved it, that sense of change means that you have to continuously keep looking. And sometimes that can actually debilitate you in a sense of change that I can't even explain. And so many people struggle with the fear of succeeding. It's ridiculous. So much easier to just complain and to make excuses and to run in circles and to just really be around people who already see you as the top and they already see you successful, so you don't have to do any more. I challenge you today to step up out of the box, to do something different, and to look fear in the face and go, it's not really you that's holding me back, it's me. Because there's nothing in my life that I have not already gone through that was not fearful, to at least give me the insight to know. Fear only lasts as long as you give it power. And you might say, what does that mean? If you wake up in a place of understanding that whatever you are going to have is yours, even if you don't succeed at it today, but you understand that it is a part of your journey, you're going to come back. Now, I'm not going to go too far into that because that's going to tie into the next question I'm going to ask. But I promise you, change is where you want to be. You always want to be fluid. You hear all the time, go with the flow. It's not really always going with the flow. It's knowing when to go with the flow and when to create the flow. It's a balance. It's this thing that we do where you don't want to have too much food and you don't want to have too little. You want to be completely satisfied. And the only way for you to really understand how that works is to understand that change happens. And it happens daily, sometimes hourly, sometimes within minutes. But to fear that, to stall in that movement, when you really have to be buoyant and flexible, is insane, because that is just what's required in order for you to love on you. Fearing things make you feel as if you damn near can't forgive yourself because you're so upset about the decisions that you made that only you made. And if you find yourself believing in you more than anyone else does, it's hard to not change because you're going to consistently demand the best from you. So, no, I rambled. Hopefully that helps someone today. We can absolutely talk about this to the end of time. But today I want to give you just that bit of tidbits for you to be in a position to just ponder. What is really stopping you from changing when you've already changed to get this far? So what's a few more changes? What's a few more changes to get to where you're trying to get into your life? People, places, things, jobs, cars, finances, children, whatever it is. What do you need to do to keep adjusting to make that fit into your life? Life is about adjusting. Life is about understanding that you're not perfect and no one's going to be perfect, and expectations in you are just the same as expectations in others. And there's got to be a forgiving, empathetic spirit that rotates on top of demands and expectations. You have to be able to do them all. It's a juggling game, and you have to be able to do it. So today, I just hope that this assists someone in getting through a fear that they are holding on to, through a change that they are holding on to get to the next level. And when you cross over, make sure you take the time to give yourself that accolade, either for the attempt or for the success. As always, thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate your time. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification button, send me any requests you have, give me as much feedback as you want. I'm here for you. And I enjoy you and the fact that you're coming back because you're finding some sense of pleasure or entertainment or education in what I'm saying. It means everything. So as usual, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you Thursday for our Thought for Thursday question. And remember, always do 3 things. Remember to live life authentic. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.